Milan's first birthday I missed. We celebrated the weekend after, but she didn't know she was turning 1 that weekend. And it was all about what other people thought about us. Why would you miss your daughter's birthday? Right? And so it had nothing to do.
We still celebrate it.
Right. We still celebrate it. Mm-hmm. Right. And I can think about certain events, and I'm not asking or suggesting that people miss out on things. What I'm saying is that you have to do what's right for your family. This is why this self-talk is so important, because the things we say to ourselves about ourselves. And so this is stories I'm telling myself about what a good dad is. And we're discussing what we feel good parenting is, because it's different. Everybody's household is slightly different.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Traci Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, welcome back to Self-Talk.
What's up, everybody? Self-talk. The things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines what we attract for ourselves.
And who we attract for ourselves.
Very true. Very true. We are back. Listen, she doesn't know this.
Oh, Lord.
But today's episode is all about her.
That's not what we talked about at all.
I know, because I figured if I told you in advance, you'd prepare some answers or something like that. And I want it to come straight from your heart. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
And there's no editing. We promised we'd never edit an episode. So it's just, it is.
I didn't promise that. Why'd you say we promised that?
I know, I kind of threw that out there.
You just made that up. I never said that. We can always edit.
I was selling you just now.
No, it didn't work.
Okay, well, we're not.
What do you mean it's about me?
This is about you, because this self-talk, when you decided that, hey, I'll be your co-host.
Right.
I thought you have so much value to add, because there are a lot of things that I've learned from you and a lot of people have learned from you that you don't know that we've learned from you.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm going to start by sharing Traci Self's story and then ask a question.
Okay.
So Traci worked at BET, the cable station, went on maternity leave with our son, Makai.
Right.
And that's how I keep track of how long you've been a stay-at-home mom.
21 years.
Yep. So we call it eternity leave because you never went back after that. Mm-hmm. So you became a stay-at-home mom for our 4 amazing young adults. Well, at the time it was 3, and then Milan was born a couple of years later. And I'll never forget, and this isn't a knock on women or men who choose to do things differently than what you did.
Okay.
But I remember you feeling like being a stay-at-home mom was lower, was not something you could be prideful. It's not something you could be proud of. So you would say things like, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. Right? Well, because people would say, so, what do you do? And you were like, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, just, you know how much you do as a mom? Right. And so why do you think you were saying just then?
Because I knew the conversations that were being had. And it wasn't nice. And it made me feel not good about myself. And I didn't have the confidence to speak up for myself at that time.
Right.
It's kind of like, oh, well, Traci can do it. She's not doing anything. Once the kids are at school, she's just at home. Somebody said, I heard, actually, she probably just sits around all day and watches TV and eats bonbons. So those are the kind of things that were coming to me. And so I think it just manifested in a bad place.
Wow.
And that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And then I would see so many career women out and wondering if that's what I should be doing. I know that being a stay-at-home mom is so valuable, and my children wouldn't be who they are today if I wasn't. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that now.
Right.
But when you have the kids at home and you're out and making things happen, and this is even before I was helping you behind the scenes. you're out making everything happen, and everyone's looking at me like, well, what does she do? Well, what's Traci doing? So, yes, you are right. I did feel like that.
Yeah.
Did feel like that.
Right. So were there moments you can remember? So we're out and about at holiday events. And so people are like, hey, what do you do? I own this business. I do. And again, there's nothing wrong with men and women owning businesses. That's not what we're saying. Or women who are career women.
No, I admire them. Absolutely.
Right. But not if they're talking down to those who decided not to. That was the issue I would have, because, of course, I was protective over you.
Right.
So the issue I would have from when people say, so your wife doesn't do anything else?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's one thing to say, oh, my gosh, your wife gets to be a stay-at-home mom and be there with the kids. That must be awesome. But they weren't saying it like that.
No, not at all.
Right.
Well, it's interesting, too, because now in 2021, stay-at-home moms get so much more. They just get so much more of the accolades and the pat on the backs, and I wish I could do that. But for some reason, when I was raising our kids in that time, it didn't seem to be like that. Now, it's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
So it would have been a lot easier for me if I was starting now, I think. Or I could be wrong. There could be some stay-at-home moms that now still feel how I felt. I just watch a lot of social media now that wasn't out back then.
Right.
And a lot of the TV shows, and they really glorify being a stay-at-home mom and taking care of your children and taking care of your family. Wow. And I didn't see that a lot.
You didn't see those examples of those who are confident about being a stay-at-home mom. Their esteem was high.
I didn't see that. I didn't have that example. And then I think also to add to that, we weren't in a good place financially. So I wasn't able to be with you at a lot of the events. I was at home. I wasn't around anyone that was speaking life into me in that manner at that time.
Yeah. What caused the shift? Like, when did you start feeling like, I'm a stay-at-home mom? Like, I get to be a stay-at-home mom. You're at football games and dance recitals and martial arts. And was it being there and the kids saying something to you?
I was going to say, it was the kids. As they got older and we really started communicating and having fun together and hanging out together, they were not happy if I wasn't there. It was a problem if I wasn't there. And even now that they're adults, if I don't answer the phone, right, it's a problem. I'll call them back. Like, I'll see a 1 minute ago missed a call. Right. And I'll call back. Oh my gosh, why didn't you answer? What are you doing? Right. I was using the bathroom. Right. Actually. Right. So, but I think that as they got older, they made me feel so valuable and so needed. Yeah. And I could see that me being there made a difference. Whether it was with their schoolwork, or just with personally being there at that moment to answer a question that if I wasn't there, they would have maybe not asked. Right. Or maybe asked someone else. Right. So it was definitely them. Yeah. It really was.
Yeah. And this is good, right? Regardless of where someone is in their life, that not everybody's going to approve what it is that we do.
It's very true.
Right? Because there's some business owner watching this now who's a woman, and she's like, people are really talking about me because I decided to run a business and I have kids.
Exactly. It can go both ways.
So you're not going to please everybody anyway.
That's true.
Right. And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, this self-talk is so critical because one of the most expensive opinions is the opinions of others. And typically it's free, right? Because people give they give that opinion of why they feel like you shouldn't be doing certain things. And I remember Malik was in the kitchen the other day, and that's our 25-year-old. And you asked a question. You remember what you asked him?
What were we talking about?
We were talking about if he remembered. We were trying to say, was it important?
Oh yes, we were having a conversation. We were talking about parenting because he has a son now. Right. And I asked him, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, do you remember when you were younger that dad wasn't there all the time? That he missed.
And you picked the age. You said 5 years old.
I said when you were 5. Yeah. I said, do you remember dad not being there a lot? Do you remember him missing a lot of cookouts, a lot of parties, a lot of things at school? Do you remember that? And he said, no. And I said, let me ask you this. do you remember me being there for everything and always in the house and always at home when you were that age? He was like, no. So we were talking about how we put so much on our children, but they don't, at certain ages, they don't retain that anyway.
Right. This is so critical, right?
They
We're
really
not saying,
don't.
we're not saying don't be there for your kids. What we're saying is that with this whole self-talk, right? We get beat up on ourselves in a way that we're placing this expectation on ourselves that's really not true.
Right.
Like, it's a false expectation because Milan's first birthday I missed. We celebrated the weekend after, but she didn't know she was turning 1 that weekend. And it was all about what other people thought about us. Why would you miss your daughter's birthday? Right. And so it had nothing to do.
We still celebrate it.
Right. We still celebrate it. Right. And I can think about certain events, and I'm not asking or suggesting that people miss out on things. What I'm saying is that you have to do what's right for your family. This is why this self-talk is so important, because the things we say to ourselves about ourselves. And so this is stories I'm telling myself about what a good dad is. And we're discussing what we feel good parenting is, because it's different. Everybody's household is slightly different.
Well, what's interesting, you're making me think back. And when we were struggling financially and the kids were younger, my self-talk was, I get to do these things with them, and I get to help you figure out what we're going to do. So my self-talk regarding that was so positive. But my self-talk regarding being a stay-at-home mom was the exact opposite. So I was having these conversations within myself, and I was able to have positive self-talk for you, but I wasn't able to have that positive self-talk as far as me and my confidence. And my belief in what I was doing was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that. I told myself all the time, this isn't enough. I should be doing more. People are not going to think well of me.
Yeah.
They're going to think I'm lazy. They're going to think I'm at home. These are the thoughts that I was telling myself.
Wow.
And that is exactly why I didn't have the confidence. Until the children started pouring into me and kind of made me shift a little bit. Like, maybe this is okay. Maybe I am doing a good job.
Right.
Because I was there for a lot that I may not have been there for.
Yeah.
I remember one day, I won't name the child, but he got in the, I said he. Okay, so that takes Milan out. He's in elementary school. He gets in the car, and I said something about, I've been calling you, and you're not answering your phone. So I said, where's your phone? Oh, I don't have my phone. Where's your phone? And it was a young lady at school. Well, she has my phone. She just wanted to see it, so I let her keep it for the night. I said, oh, no. No. So I made him take me to her house and go up to the door and talk to her dad and get the phone. So these are things that maybe I would have had a chance to do. And I know this certain son remembers this exact story. I do stuff like that all the time. I'm that mom. Yeah.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And here's a great solution. I'm going to talk about some solutions to this right when we get back, sharing some of our sponsors, our amazing sponsors.
Hey, family, make sure you're following my girl Brianna on Instagram at Belux Boutique, or to shop for date night or just lounging in the house. She has everything you need. As you can see, go to her website, belux.shop, and get you some great pieces today.
Hey, what's up, Self-Talk Experience family? Listen, I thought I was going to get some bathrooms renovated, but I had no idea when I connected with my man, Stan Neal, that it would be more than a renovation. I'm not even sure what the term should be. Maybe transformation, because I started with the bathrooms and all of a sudden my entire basement was redone in a way that my family members thought I moved. Seriously. So if you're looking to take your house to the next level, whether it's some custom construction, some transformation of your bedroom, your bathrooms, your family room, your great room, I did it all. I mean, if I showed you my entire house before and after pictures, in fact, I'm going to show you some, you would say, no way is that the same room or the same house. Listen, I'm just saying this because I've got personal experience with this gentleman. So you want to connect with him, I'm going to give you the number, his office number to reach him, as well as email. And again, you will not be disappointed. So if you want to reach him via his office number, 202-359-3923. Again, 202-359-3923. And email is Stan.nealjr Nealjr at freshairllc.com. Connect with my man Stan. You won't be disappointed. Hey, what's up, fam? You got to connect with J&E Builders. They buy homes in any condition. J&E Builders even help out with distressed properties. And if you're dealing with a significant amount of taxes, J&E Builders will assist you with that home as well. Give them a hit at J&E_builders. That's at Instagram at J&E_builders. So author and trainer Monte Sanders has been in this health and wellness space for over 20 years. His most notable clients are NFL Hall of Famers Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. And guess what? He's got an Amazon best-selling book that you can gain access to right now. It's The Power of You versus You. I'm going to tell you right now how you can get access to that and his other programs. All you have to do is go to thepowerofyouversusyou.com. That's it. Thepowerofyouversusyou.com to get access to that amazing book as well as all of his other programs. All right. So let's talk about some solutions here.
Okay.
Right. Some strategy for those who may not have the healthiest self-talk because, like yourself, perhaps they didn't have examples.
Right.
So that they could say, you wanted to say something, I could tell.
Well, I just didn't know. I didn't know at the time that it was negative self-talk. I know now that we're talking about it, I'm identifying it, but I didn't know that's what I was doing. I was literally sabotaging myself, but I didn't know.
Right.
So how do you fix that
Right.
when you don't even realize that you're doing it?
Right. Well, that's what this podcast is all about.
Right.
So the first thing is becoming aware of it. And so because people are watching the podcast, somebody right now is going to say, I do that.
Right.
And it may not even be about being a stay-at-home mom.
Sure.
Right. But they're like, I do that right now. Like, I know I've been called to do something more than this job, but I keep telling myself I'm not good enough to do anything where I can determine my own self-worth.
Yes.
I'm going to allow someone else to tell me what I'm worth at the job because I just keep telling myself, no way can I go out and earn the $80,000 a year or whatever it is they make at their job.
Right.
Right. And so or the stay-at-home mom. Right. So number one, you're absolutely right. It's becoming aware that, wow, I do need to shift the things I'm saying to myself. Right. We talked about in one of the episodes, babe, that, you know, people can spend a lot of money taking courses and taking classes and buying programs. But until they give themselves permission.
Until they're ready.
Yep. Like the thing that
It
held
won't
me
matter.
back was I wasn't giving myself permission. The moment I gave myself permission, I couldn't even sleep at night because I released myself.
Yeah, but part of that was because we went to an event. I went to my first event with you. Do you remember? And we were it was like a smaller group meeting for a smaller team or something. And a lot of people were going up and getting like cash awards and all these accolades. So I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, my husband's going to go up there. And they kept going and they kept going. So I kind of leaned over to you. I was like, when are you going up there, babe? And you were like, I'm not going up there. Right. And I'm like, but you can do it. You can be up there. Why aren't you up there? And you looked at me, you said, well, I really want to be, but we can do this together. If you let me run, I can do it. And I said, let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I think that was maybe helpful for you.
It was.
To say, I actually can do this.
Yeah. I needed you to catch the vision. Right. Because otherwise I felt, and I don't know if you said it, but I felt like I was not being there for you. And I was, it's this dichotomy, right? I mean, one part of me is like, okay, you got to be there for your family. Right. And the other part is I got to go build this legacy for the very family that I love so much. And when you said, go.
Right.
Go, like whatever it takes, go. And I was like, yes. You know what I mean? I was like a stallion getting ready to run this race and I was just moving, right? And and so it was a great release for me to give myself permission and for you to say, hey, I support you, go.
Yeah, but that wasn't easy for me to do either because I've never been the type of person who is, I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do me. Who cares? I'm doing this. I've never been that person. Right. I'm always very guarded, very careful about what people think.
Yeah.
And what people are going to say.
Yeah.
And that's just honest. That's just how I've been. So that was huge for me because I didn't want anybody to say, well, what's Darnell doing? So he's not working anymore. So
Right.
what's network marketing? What's an entrepreneur? What does all this mean? I didn't want the smoke.
Yeah.
I didn't want it.
Yeah.
So I think for me to be able to say that for you, it was almost something how I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I was going to put it on you.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'm going to let him do it. Here, you do it.
Yeah.
So the confidence that I didn't have, I wanted to give it to you because I knew if you knew you could do it, you could run with it.
Yeah.
And I'll be at home. I'll be behind the scenes. I'll just
Right.
take care of the house and just take care of the kids.
Yeah.
And I'll let him do that.
Yeah.
Because that's not me.
Yeah. It's something special about when you can claim who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you're like,
It is.
I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm this race.
That's a big deal.
I've got 2 special needs kids.
Mm-hmm.
I was unemployed for 3 years. Like when you like, this is just who I was, or this is who I am. But it doesn't define me, right? It doesn't define me. What it does was it says that here's a description of a part of an area of my life, right? And so here's a solution we want to talk about. And this solution is something that's more accessible now than when you were talking about, years ago when you first became a stay-at-home mom. So now there are online communities, it's kind of support groups.
Sure, absolutely.
In every area. I mean, before it's, it'd be an AA,
That's
right?
so
Someone
true,
had an
babe.
alcohol issue, a drug
Yes.
issue. But now you could be a stay-at-home mom, and there's a group that you can join with stay-at-home moms. And all the stay-at-home moms talk about stay-at-home mom stuff.
And they hang out and the kids are together.
Yes. Right. And so whatever it is if it's single dads, if it's right. So you can hang out if those who like a particular sporting team, like they're like everyone who graduated when I graduated from high school, there's a group for that group, that group
Yeah.
of people. So it's different now. So one of the solutions is find that support system where you're around people who celebrate who you are and what you do.
That would have been huge.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't hanging around anyone that was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah. Yeah. So like most of my inner circle are entrepreneurs, just because we talk entrepreneurial talk,
Right.
right? It's not like I'm saying you're not an entrepreneur, you can't hang. It doesn't work like that. It's just that typically you end up, they say, birds
Birds of a feather flock together.
flock together. Yeah. You got to be old to know that joint. I mean, older.
Well, you were going to say it.
I just couldn't remember what it was.
You have to be really
I'm too
old
young.
to try to say an old saying and can't remember it. Now, that's old. But I'm always here to
Shut
help you
up.
out. I'm always here to help you out.
I know you are.
I make you better.
Yeah, you do. You do make me better. That is hilarious, actually. So, but yeah, so I mean, I think about, being around entrepreneurs, we deal with the issues that entrepreneurs face all the time. It's like, dude, it's all good. Do this.
Yes.
Do that. Have you checked this?
Yes.
It's like, oh no. Right. So I would imagine that would have been helpful to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Yeah.
And it would have definitely helped me with my self-talk.
Yep. Yep.
And I may have even felt vulnerable enough to share.
Well, you're sharing now with a larger audience.
Yes.
Right. And this is why there are no mistakes.
Yes.
That you actually are sharing right now in everything you've gone through so that you can bless others who may be feeling like you felt. And now we've given some solutions. You've given your story.
And I am giving permission to everyone out there who was like me, who may have felt less than. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stand up and know your self-talk matters and say everything good to yourself. And again, we talk about the learning curve. You don't have to go through what I went through. Like there's so many resources now, and just hear it from me. We have to be better, and we can be better, and we will be better. We can do it.
Yeah.
We can.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for allowing me to put you on the spot a little bit.
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah, because it's you. It's who you are.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm thankful that you're now in a position to, again, empower other people. Shout out to the stay-at-home moms.
Stay-at-home moms rock.
All right, guys. We'll see you the next time. Thanks for joining the Self-Talk Experience.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Traci Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.